Star Wars fans have known for a long time that the limitations of Darth Vader's suit and the injuries he sustained on Mustafar held him back from achieving his full potential in the Force, but in a new piece of canon material, Disney reaffirms that Palpatine intentionally equipped his apprentice's suit with outdated materials, which, while fully capable of keeping him alive, served as somewhat of a handicap for Lord Vader, preventing him from maximizing the power he still had available to him. But why would Palpatine intentionally design Vader's suit to hold him back? And if the Darth Vader we met in the original trilogy wasn't even operating at full strength, how much more powerful could he have become if the Emperor had fine-tuned his cybernetic limbs and gifted his apprentice with less obsolete technologies? What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel, where in this video I will introduce a new revelation from Marvel's Darth Vader number 9, and from there we will explore the Emperor's motivations as well as the potential powers of the mighty Darth Vader had he been allowed to maximize what was left of his already mutilated body. So in short, we have this depiction where Darth Vader is being tracked down by a group of droids, and Ochi of Bestoon, yes, Ochi from The Rise of Skywalker, the bounty hunter who served Palpatine and ultimately killed Rey's parents. They are tracking Vader in an attempt to steal some of his armor, which these droids believe is extremely valuable because of Darth Vader's reputation. You know, Darth Vader is built up to be this terrifying, unbelievably efficient killer, which he certainly is, but these droids think that that is thanks to the Emperor devoting high-tech resources to Vader's cause. But then they get a hold of a piece of the armor and they quickly come to learn that it's worthless. It's extremely outdated, over 30 years old actually. So Vader is being supported by pre-Clone Wars technology, and this clearly tells us that not only did Palpatine refuse to update Darth Vader's armor as new technology came about, but he actually used outdated and clunky machinery in Revenge of the Sith as well. And the big question here is, why? We are all aware that had Vader never fallen to Kenobi, had he maintained the mobility and athleticism of Anakin Skywalker, there is a very strong chance that he would have outgrown Palpatine. But Palpatine knew this as he was grooming Anakin to become his apprentice. He even tells Master Yoda that Darth Vader will become more powerful than either one of them. It was his goal all along to gain an apprentice in Anakin who had the potential to eclipse his own power. But Vader did lose to Kenobi on Mustafar, and that did diminish his skill and his potential to a very great extent. He would never achieve his full power at this point, that is a fact. But still, why wouldn't the Emperor want to maximize what was left of Lord Vader? Here's the dilemma. Because Vader can now never achieve that all-powerful state Palpatine foresaw him reaching, I believe that Palpatine now saw him as replaceable. Not anytime soon, of course, but in the eyes of the Emperor, Darth Vader was now a failure. He was still a valuable asset, he played an integral role in the Empire's ascension, and still managed to become one of the most devastatingly powerful Sith Lords of all time. But it is the way of the Sith to replace one another when the time is right. Either the Master will replace the Apprentice, or the Apprentice will outgrow the Master and kill him, which had Vader not lost to Kenobi most likely would have happened. But Palpatine did not fear this, because he had a backup plan. And even if transferring his spirit to a clone on Exegol wasn't successful, the trade-off of turning Anakin Skywalker to the dark side was simply a risk worth taking for Palpatine. But now that he had failed, he became somewhat expendable. And we can see that in the original trilogy, as Palpatine sets his sights on Luke Skywalker to replace his father at his side, because he knows that Luke has the ability to achieve what his father could not. In Legends, Palpatine designed Vader's suit to inflict great pain, to serve as a constant reminder of his failure on Mustafar, further fueling Vader's rage, but it went beyond that. Vader's suit also slowed him down, even more than his physical limitations already did. It had soft spots that the Emperor knew about, so that if Vader ever turned on him, he would be able to expose those weaknesses. And we are now seeing that concept be brought back into Disney canon. It's a bit of a low blow by Palpatine, really, almost a cowardly move from a certain point of view. But it does ensure that the Sith will remain at full strength, for Vader could never carry the torch of the Sith at the same level that Sidious did, certainly not from the Emperor's point of view. His disgust with Vader's defeat cannot be overstated, and he would never allow Vader to forget what happened on that day. And if you think about it, this really is a win-win for Palpatine. The pain that this clumsy, old-fashioned technology brings onto Vader fuels his anger, his fear, his rage, and that feeds his connection with the dark side. In designing his suit in this way, Palpatine actually maximizes Darth Vader's power, while also making it so that Vader could never defeat him. Mentally, and in terms of his ability to wield the dark side of the Force, Vader may have actually become more powerful than he would have otherwise been, but physically, he is being intentionally hindered by his master. In doing this, Vader is made to be an unbelievably efficient killer for pretty much anyone who stands in his way, but Palpatine, of course, is a different monster altogether. Most beings do not stand a chance against Vader despite his physical limitations, so there was never a need to upgrade his cybernetics or his life support systems. But because Palpatine knew Vader's weaknesses, and because Vader was so limited physically, he could never defeat Sidious, at least not on an even playing field. And Vader actually knows this. He is only able to defeat Sidious in Return of the Jedi because he catches him off guard. Palpatine didn't suspect Vader would turn on him in that moment. He didn't sense Vader's conflict, he was focused on Luke, and that ultimately led to his downfall. So how much stronger could Vader have become if Sidious had given him all the most up-to-date technology to support his broken body? Well, it depends really. In terms of his use of the dark side of the Force itself, I don't really know that he could have gone much further than he did. But if we assume that he would have reached that same level regardless of the design of his armor, but he was also provided the most up-to-date technologically advanced cybernetics, which granted him more mobility, there's no doubt he would have been stronger in that respect. How much stronger? There's no way to say for sure, but I would probably say that whatever percentage of his full potential Darth Vader did actually reach, you could probably tack on anywhere from another 5 to 20%. So if Vader was, let's just say, 70% of what he could have been if he never lost to Obi-Wan, now we'd be looking at somewhere in the ballpark of more like 80% in my estimation. There's no question about it, Sidious was definitely intentionally holding him back. It's just a question of by how much. But with that being said, I am going to wrap this video up here, so thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to leave a thumbs up to support the channel, comment your thoughts on this new reveal from Disney down below, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and may the Force be with you always.